Howdy, folks. I'm Nasty Nucklave, nonchalantly nabbing noisy neighbors.
I'm Amber.
And here are more noisy neighbors for us to nab, and that's what you do when you're like a skinless centaur, I guess. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Pranking My Wife? Well, yesterday I wanted to buy some burgers for dinner. My son, a 4-year-old, thought that it would be funny to buy some salad for my wife and see her reaction. She loves food, especially burgers. Just to be clear, I also bought her a burger to give her after pranking her. Well, I get home and my son started eating and my wife sat down and asked where her food was. And I gave her the salad. She asked, "What is this?" And I told her that I got her a salad because I felt that it would be good for her. She asked me what I meant and I said nothing. I just feel like it would be good for you to eat healthier. Well, she looked at me angrily and said, "You should worry about yourself since you're old and you could die any day." What in the actual world? Yeah, I'm like 10 years older than her, but it was actually cruel for her to say that. I told her that she's being mean for no reason. It was just a prank. She said that it wasn't funny and went to our room. Now apparently I'm the bad guy. I didn't even say anything bad. She did. All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, OP, you're a major jerk here. I understand that your son is a literal child, but you should have enough context to know what you're doing here.
Are you sure Opie isn't a literal child?
I mean, I'm hoping not. Like, what was supposed to be the joke here?
Well, and that, I mean, kids don't think about things all the way, and they might think, aha, mom likes burgers, and so if we get her a salad instead, it'll make her annoyed, right?
Right.
And kids probably not thinking about what the implications on like weight and stuff like that are.
Right, but OP should be. And I also wonder too if this was actually the kid's idea or if OP was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny to prank mom and is now trying to hide behind the kid?
Yeah, I mean, that it could be like a passive aggressive type thing, right? And I think that OP should have known better or, not actually said anything and then just actually said, "Ha, we were just kidding. Here's your burger," type of thing, right? If they had revealed it sooner, I think that might have had been a little bit easier. But the fact that he's like, "I just think it would be good for you to eat healthier," that's kind of where that turns from like this could have been an okay prank to an actual like, oh, this is a bit cruel, right?
Well, I don't know if there would have been a good way to do this prank, and OP should have
Mm-hmm.
known better to begin with. But yeah, that definitely makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, he's making it clear that, oh, well, I think you need to eat healthier. It's fine if me and son don't.
Yeah.
And that feels very, very gross.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. Centrifuge.
I mean, I'll go with that.
Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Taking Something from an Unattended Cart at Goodwill? I'm a 34-year-old male, and I was at Goodwill today. I like to buy things here to resell, since it's easy and I make good money. I know it's a bit controversial, but it's my job and I gotta do what I gotta do. Well, I saw an unattended cart and in it was a doll that goes for a lot online. I figured that the cart was abandoned because there wasn't anyone around aside from a kid who wasn't even old enough to be shopping at Goodwill on her own. So I grabbed the doll and the girl started screaming at me. Her mom came over and asked what I was doing, and I told her that I thought the cart was abandoned. She got mad at me and said that I shouldn't take things from other people's carts and that she was an aisle over and claimed that she couldn't fit her cart through because it was full of people. She demanded that I give the doll back, and I basically told her too bad and that she should be more responsible and not abandon her cart with her kid if she doesn't want other people taking her stuff. I bought it and I cleaned it up and I listed it on eBay, and I really think I can get a lot for it. My friend said that I was a jerk though, and agreed with the mom. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
Yes, OP, you're a jerk. I mean, first of all, the cart wasn't even unattended. There was a kid there. The fact that they're not old enough to be a shopper on their own does not make it an unattended cart. As soon as someone was like, hey, this is my cart, that was your cue to drop it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you took this from a child who actually wanted it to make money.
But you don't understand, like the kid isn't going to appreciate the doll the way that OP does the money.
Yeah, of course.
Like the kid, she would only play with the doll and probably get it more destroyed, whereas OP, they can earn money off of it.
I mean, this is like I have some a very difficult time with resellers who come into places, into thrift stores, and take all the good items to resell.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the reason why they are donated. They are being donated to help people who have less. They are not being donated for you to turn a profit.
Yeah. Well, and while OP can buy whatever they want, it doesn't give them the right to take things out of other people's carts and then to sell them after the fact, right? Like, again, I think the part that makes OP sinister here is that they literally took a toy away from a kid who was going to get it. And that kid may not even have a whole lot of toys, right? This might be like a rare, occasional toy that they can even get or afford because they're at a thrift shop, right?
Yeah.
So I think that OP is really, a crummy individual for doing something like this.
Yeah, well, I agree completely. It really is an awful thing to do. And again, OP is kind of like defeating the purpose of these thrift stores.
Mm-hmm. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Purple Shallot says, you're the jerk and a walking stereotype of a reseller. Your assessment about the kid who wasn't old enough to shop at Goodwill on her own was ridiculous because you're 34 years old and behaving like a child. And you know the cart wasn't quote unquote abandoned. That was just a narrative you cooked up to make yourself feel justified about doing something that you know isn't right. I guarantee that you're the kind of reseller that would absolutely blow up if someone did the same kind of thing to you. Did you make a new account so that we can't see all of the moaning that you inevitably do over on r/flipping? And Snoozesprouts6437 says, you're the jerk. Even after you realized that the girl was with the cart, you still took the doll. And even after the mom came back, you still kept the doll. She clearly was going to get the doll herself, and you wrongfully took the doll. I resell stuff online, and what you did is what gives resellers a bad name. I don't care if you live off of selling online, what you did was wrong. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Today I Messed Up by Telling My Niece that her favorite YouTuber fell off a cliff. My 8-year-old niece was visiting and would not stop talking about some Minecraft YouTuber that she's obsessed with. She was going on and on about his new series. Trying to be the cool uncle, I said, oh yeah, I used to watch him, but honestly, I think that his content really fell off a cliff years ago. Her face immediately went white. Her bottom lip started trembling. He died? She whispered. I realized my mistake. In her world, fell off a cliff is not a metaphor for decline in quality. It's a literal tragic death for a cartoon character. I spent the next hour trying to explain the concept of a metaphor to a sobbing child who frantically pulled up her YouTuber's active channel to prove that he was still alive. She is now convinced that I'm a liar who tried to trick her about a man's death. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know if this is really a jerk situation here. It is a little odd to be putting down a child's favorite YouTuber, though. Like, it's okay if you don't personally like them, but it seems strange to be like, oh, yeah, I used to watch them, but their content has really declined.
Yeah, I mean, instead of being like the cool uncle, OP is just kind of being like a bit of a jerk in the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh, I used to like such and such until XYZ, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
makes it sound like, oh, it's beneath you or you've grown out of it or
Mm-hmm.
something to that effect, right? Like, oh, you watch that trash? I grew out of that years ago type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she's 8, just let her enjoy what she wants to enjoy. And maybe OP didn't mean it like that, but the fact that they're saying it like that kind of, it was unnecessary. OP could have been like, oh, yeah, I used to watch him,
Yeah.
right? And I had a lot of fun watching them when I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you need to even throw in that their quality declined or anything like that? They're an
Yeah.
8-year-old. They weren't going to notice the difference. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Katie Can't Swim says, I recently described my workplace to my spouse as being on fire because it was a horrible day. My 5-year-old overheard it and has been asking me if my work is still melted ever since. And important aside, 507 says, my dad got fired from his job when I was like 5, and he came home and just told me and my mom that he was fired. Well, a few days later, he was going to go clean out his locker and stuff, and I'm absolute sobbing, telling him that he can't go back because they'll put a fire on him again. And EJ Dax 37 says, I remember being about 4 or 5 and riding around with older cousins. I think they got lost. This was before GPS. They came up to a road and made a comment about not turning one way because it was a dead end. Well, my mind went to the Wile E. Coyote thing with him going off a cliff, and I was convinced that's what would happen if we went that way. So I started crying and saying that we don't want to go that way. I think that they got a kick out of it because we came across a lot of dead ends that day. Lol. And 510 Genius says, I was probably around 6, and in school we were learning about how it's bad to drink and drive. And my mom and I were going to the mall, and I saw that she had a drink with her. I got really upset, but I didn't let on. And after 5 or so minutes, she took another sip, and I was like, that's it, I'm going to say something. And I told her how it's bad to drink and drive. She had to explain to me that Diet Coke doesn't count.
Well, that reminds me of there's a sign near where I lived. It said no passing, and so I was like, "Are we not supposed to drive this way?" Like it was a little confusing for me as a little kid.
Mm-hmm. And Chris XLR 8R says, "This is so silly. It's not like you did anything wrong, but generally, if I'm trying to be cool, I don't say I like something only then to say it's not cool anymore. I love X Band. Oh, I used to listen to them too, but they're not good anymore. So even if she understood, you probably would seem more out of touch than anything." And your XVIXI says, that's just gatekeeping with extra steps. Let people enjoy things. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Today I messed up by confidently clicking my heels like Dorothy during a monitor online university exam. So I am mid-exam, already sweating bullets, trying to look professional for my invigilator. Webcam on and full body view, the whole deal. My invigilator, that is watching me for the next 3 hours, has this absolutely beautiful thick accent, and I'm hanging on every word because I do not want to mess anything up and get flagged. She asked me to show where my phone is, so I do, and I'm standing there laser focused, waiting for the next instruction. Then I swear to God, she says, please click your heels as fast as you can, back and forth. My brain short circuits. I pause, I blink, and just to be sure, I ask her to repeat that. And she says it again, clear as day in my stressed out ears. Click your heels as fast as you can. So I think, well, weird request, but okay. She's the authority here. And I plant my feet, straight face, full body view. And then I proceed to click my heels together twice, with confidence. There's a long pause, and then she says slowly, sweetly, no, please click on screen. I have never felt my soul leave my body faster. So somewhere in the invigilator servers is a high-definition recording of me, dead serious, obediently heel-clicking like Dorothy, trying to teleport out of her degree. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, it's a fun story. Hopefully OP will be able to see the humor in it.
Yeah, well, I think like it's embarrassing now, but I think that in the end, it's going to be a funny story for OP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no harm, no foul. It's not like they got kicked out of the exam or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their teacher just thinks probably is like, oh, I must not have said it very clear or something like that.
Well, it sounds like it was a proctor too,
Mm-hmm.
like not someone who OP's ever going to see again.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Panaka says, you're magical and you know it. Heart, I wish I would have as lovely memories. I know that it does not feel nice now, but let it age and you can remember it with love. And OP replies, thank you. Seeing how much people enjoyed hearing my story makes it feel a lot more funny than embarrassing. Well, I'm glad sharing it makes the OP feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And Chunky Baby says, I feel your pain. I was taking a videoed final, fortunately not live with someone there, for a university class, and everything was going well until I heard our cat running up the stairs, having been chased off by our dog. The test had been tough, and I was nearing the end when she appeared out of the corner of my eye, mid-face hugger leap as I turned my head. And I literally had no time before I received her belly in my face and her claws wrapped around my head. I think I screamed, ducking C-nut, before managing to pull her away. and panic threw her into the bedroom. She lands gracefully and runs off, while I turn back to my scattered notes. I still got a good grade, but I can't help but think that some lucky proctor got to snore watch mine until the action part. I'm sure that it was a hit behind the scenes. And Opie replies, "This made me laugh out loud. Oh my goodness. Just imagining a cat go full flying squirrel face hugger leaping onto your head mid-exam. When cats flail, they flail. I wonder what kind of things those proctor people have seen, then live with afterwards." All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Why didn't the teddy bear go to the party?
Well, the teddy bear didn't go to the party because the party was about, burning teddy bears. And so the teddy bear didn't want to be involved in that mess.
That's horrible. No.
I know. That's why the teddy bear wasn't there.
No, because they were feeling a little stuffy. And it's Plush Animal Lovers Day.
Yeah, but not for that party.
And also National Chocolate Day.
So go have a chocolate bar and don't join that other party.
No, share a chocolate bar with your favorite plush friend.
Exactly,
we'll say.
exactly. And I have licorice spice.
Actually, one time when my brother was little, I had this Beanie Baby Garfield plush, and my brother tried to feed ravioli to Garfield. And he still has a little stain. Garfield still has a stain on his mouth from where my brother tried to feed him.
All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Terrific Tuesday, spelled TWO. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on being inconsiderate.
A prank should be funny for everyone involved.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.